What Up Doe is your go-to podcast featuring three high school buddies from the legendary Martin Luther King Jr. Senior High. We dive into the latest entertainment buzz and spill our unfiltered thoughts. We are all about good vibes, healing hearts, and having a blast. So make sure you follow the What Up Doe podcast so you can stay in the loop with our latest episodes. Thanks for watching.
I will always care for you. Hello, Detroit.
What up, Doe? Thank you for
Doe?
joining us today. We have Watts' own Jose Raymond in the house. Watts raised in Hawaii, saved. So glad to have him. It was so many problems getting in today, but that's all right. We're going to make this happen. We got on our shirts. There's, what is this, Jose? I wanted to ask you. What is that at the top? Is them the trees? Or?
Nah, those the Watts Towers.
The Watts Towers. See, I ain't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
The Watts Towers.
That's what's up. Yeah, I love that. So I'm gonna play your video that kind of explain a little bit more about your story, and then you could kind of.
I love starting out my life like that. Like I was born in Mexico, and then my family brought me to the United States when I was 3, illegally. That means at one point in my life I was contraband. And the whole point to moving to this country is to better your family or better yourself. My mom and my dad moved us to Watts. Out of the whole country. Watts is 2.12 square miles. I ain't good at math, but 2.12 ain't that big. I don't think that's a lot of miles. And she pinpointed us to Watts. As a kid, I didn't know how dangerous that place was, right? But there were signs because kids would come to school happy and bragging that they were moving to Compton. Right, and us as kids, we didn't know, right? We used to be jealous. We were like, man, he's gonna be somebody.
Oh, yeah, something wrong.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, clear. What's up, man?
Oh, okay. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm really trying to make it work. I'm in the car, so bear with me.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
How was that? I did some research on you to be prepared to ask a couple questions, but just so I got it on my mind.
Yeah.
With the fires and how that impacted you, man. How was all that for you and your family?
Yeah, that was wild, man. Did you guys see it in the news? That's how you guys found out, right?
Yep.
Yeah, man. I can describe it as, just something that happens so quick that you got no time to reflect on it until later, The whole city was on fire, including our house. Like when we were trying to escape the fire, the winds and the fire, it was a little too late. There wasn't no signal, no phone service at all, so there was no way to warn people. And when we tried to leave, some houses and roads were blocked off because they were on fire, and we had to leave our car and run on foot. And we survived, man. We lost our house and our car and a bunch of bullshit material stuff, but I'm grateful, thankful to God that me and my kids survived that day. And affected us in a way that we lost a lot of friends and neighbors that did die, and memories in that city and whatnot. But just grateful now, man. We alive, it's like a second chance, and take it for granted. So very lucky to and fortunate to have survived that.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear from someone. Like when I read about it, the incidents. Yeah, we heard about it on the news. I definitely wanted to ask you about how that was, but I'm glad you and your family, were able to survive it and get out of it.
Yeah, thank you, man. But yeah, it's as bad as they say it was. It was, and like anything in life, when something bad happens, you gotta kind of get up, dust yourself off, and keep pushing, keep moving forward.
I think it might be the Obama phone you always mess with her about.
This computer.
Okay. Good. Woo! Lord Jesus. Okay, so I'm gonna put all them clips in there and everything. And we laughing off the video. So yeah, so recap your story, Jose, about I want to talk about when you do you remember coming from Mexico?
Hell no,
Because
I was
know
too
you was
young.
real young. You was what,
3 years old, right?
Mexico?
Yeah, I was 3.
So when you came from Mexico and then you found out, do you remember anything about the conditions? And I want to see how different it was in comparison to Watts.
Okay. I don't remember living in Mexico at all.
Yeah, you don't?
And
Okay.
from zero. And and even from my childhood, like I've been through a lot of trauma, I say. And like I've been jumped since I was a little kid, been hitting my head a lot. So I don't like have a lot of like memories, I don't think. But I get flashbacks.
You be
and shit.
remembering when you be doing that stand-up though. I don't know how y'all do that shit.
Hey, that's what I'm saying though. Like you can remember a few things,
Right.
And I guess those core memories. But
right.
Um,
But when you was in Watts, okay, when you came to Watts, you was with your daddy though, right? Your daddy brought
my
y'all.
mom?
Your dad and your mom brought you over here, right?
Yeah.
Illegally.
Illegally.
Now, why do people do that? Because a lot of people don't understand. I know you talked about it in your stand-up. You say the reason they come over legally because it costs a lot of motherfucking money. And a lot of people don't realize because they be like, why can't you just come over legally? It's a process.
It's a long process. And it all comes down to politics as well, like even if they do have some kind of a route for you to take a legal way, like going through visas and whatnot, it's all selective. So when you come from these poor countries or just a poor area yourself, your family, you hear these stories of people that have moved to a different place and they're living there. They got a house, they're eating food, they're eating eggs every day and meat and shit.
Right.
You over there going hungry, you're like, nah, we're gonna take the risk,
Right.
And,
that's what's up. Yeah.
It's just hearing of a better place than where you're at. It makes people take that risk, whatever that may be.
Right. So what about your dad? Now you talk about it, you had us cracking up at Punchline in Southfield, represent for the D. So I know you talked a little bit about how your father, and you had the crowd. It was beautiful because you had us all sad for you and shit. And you was like, don't be sad. I'm glad that happened.
My life good.
The story about your father and then your stepfather. It said, I said, Watts raised in Hawaii saved. You need to do that shirt. That's a nice shirt. Watts raised Hawaii saved.
Yeah, and it literally does mean that, my dad, hey, and I say that's why it's like everybody is not just that one thing. How they say everybody's not just that one thing. Like somebody can't be all bad. My dad was a crackhead. He died a crackhead, but he's the only member of his family to go to college in Mexico,
right?
And have an education, and his credentials weren't transferable to the United States. Like he couldn't use his education over here, so he chose to come illegally. And now you got this dude that's an educated man working, for pennies, pretty much. Like my dad and my mom used to recycle at first, going and collecting cans and shit because you couldn't get a job, and living in your surroundings dictate your future, and Watts is and at least back in the day, I'm sure now too, it's just infested with crime, drugs, opportunity to dwell in those, and sometimes people, fall, and that's what happened to my dad. I felt he probably fell in temptation and it just kept building up. Pressures of being in the country illegal, not being to use your profession. He was actually a teacher of math and science in Mexico.
Wow.
And so pressures of life, I guess, living in the hood, getting robbed now. You're in a different country. You don't understand the language. This motherfucker probably found an escape in crack, and
Yeah.
there you go.
Wow, that's an amazing story. And then, to brighter days, move on to brighter days. Your mom meets your stepdad, right?
Yeah, my father passed away, and my mom and my stepdad, and the dude, man, he's a blessing, man. So shout out to any stepdads out there.
Yeah.
They're important, man. They like they help kids that
Stepdad
ain't
here,
even there.
stepdad here.
Donnie and stepdad, Donnell and stepdad too.
Hey,
Yep. Yep. Got one of them out in Arizona. Been out in Arizona. Yep, on the West Coast.
yeah.
One
Thank
in
you.
West Virginia.
Thank you for doing what you do, man. It's important.
Oh, appreciate. Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem.
If they don't
What is-
tell you, I'm telling you, man. Thank you for doing
Oh, with that, I appreciate that.
So how was that for you, Jose, when you met him and that changed your life? So you moved from Watts, then how you find out you was moving to? Because I remember I watched a lot of your videos, and I watched the one where you was talking about the school lunches and all of that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. You guys did much.
I used to hate field trips. Like in LA, the biggest field trip for schools is the LA Zoo. It's amazing. Everybody go there. The good neighborhoods and the bad neighborhoods. But then here comes lunchtime and you get all the kids mixed up and everybody's watching everybody. It was lunchtime, it was field trip. Everybody's excited because you're a kid, you're in 3rd grade and it's lunchtime at the zoo. I remember seeing these kids from other neighborhoods pulling out a lunchbox, a metal lunchbox. And they opened it, and it had another little box inside it with a sandwich in it. I was like, that's a lot of protection for some bread, don't you think? Like, you don't like fingerprints on your bread? I was mad that these dudes had that, like, safeguarded because I didn't have a lunchbox. Because my turn, right? I'm untying my plastic grocery store bag. My mom would tie it in knots so they wouldn't steal my lunch. I'm like, we deserve to live in Watts. We deserve to live here. How you gonna tie the bag in knots so they won't steal? They could rip through it, Mom. Plastic bag, and I didn't have a sandwich. I had a cup of noodles. You know what I'm talking about? At the zoo. With a real fork. My mom sent me on a field trip with a weapon. I was sparking up down the sidewalks, man. Everybody could hear me coming down the street. You heard clinks? That's Jose got a field trip because he got the fork hanging out the bag. I'm at the LA Zoo with a cup of noodles. Between the gorillas and the lions, thinking, where the fuck am I gonna get hot water from? Other kids halfway through the sandwiches, I'm out here thinking, like in a quiz, like a life test, like a pop quiz. And I didn't do good at quizzes either. So sometimes there wasn't water, you just broke it up and ate it like chips. It'd be dry. The only good thing about that was like the school bus ride home, right? Everybody was just hungry. And I had my little packet. They were like, is that strawberry? I was like, nah, this is shrimp.
You guys did watch it.
Yeah.
I haven't done those jokes in a minute. Guys, you can tell from the videos like 50 pounds ago, but
You still look good, though.
I was small in the videos. Hey, you got that lighter? So my stepdad, man, I think like in my stand-up, I talk about how he moved us to Hawaii. And but more so, this is how I knew he loved my mom. When he met my mom, he was living outside of Watts. And then this motherfucker moved in to the projects with us.
Damn, that's love.
He moved in, like he had the only nice car on the block.
Waiting to get stolen.
Yeah. And he was a thug himself, man. He was from he passed away, so man, he rest in peace. He was from Mexico City. I don't know if you guys ever seen like Man on Fire. You ever seen the movie Man on Fire? Yeah. So they, you know, it's crazy how hood people in the United States, we think like, yo, we dangerous, but there's other levels of danger, you know. And my stepdad was one of those that he come from a real terrible hood in Mexico, and he came out. He was not scared of Watts, you know, and he moved in and proved that he was there to help us, and he taught me. It was the first time I saw like a a man be a man, you know, like he taught you how to be clean, how to be responsible. If you say some shit, your words type shit. So
Right. That's
uh,
what's
yeah, and he ended up moving us to Hawaii because back to the illegal shit. He was illegal himself. Uh, he moved when people move to this country. You travel in numbers, right? Because it's a dangerous trek, man. Some people go missing, especially women and kids.
wow.
Yeah, because it's a danger. People get kidnapped all the time, and
Yeah.
sometimes also families like they're called coyotes. They'll say I'll do it for this price, and then they'll take the
Your
family member or
money,
whoever they're
rob you.
taking. No, they don't take no money. They take you, and then they get you to the United States, and then they switch the price on the family. So instead of 3,500, now it's 15,000. And if you don't pay up, they keeping your family until you pay up,
Oh
or
no.
they going missing. You feel me? And
Yeah.
so that's why people come in numbers, man. And my stepdad, when he moved to the United States, some of his friends ended up going different places, and one of his friends went to Las Vegas, which is known as the ninth island of Hawaii,
Oh,
because
okay.
a bunch of people from Hawaii go to Vegas. I guess it's probably like the hospitality industry. You know, you can transfer jobs in hotels and shit.
Yeah.
And so his friend living in Vegas met a Hawaiian woman, and he moved to Hawaii. Fast forward to the future when he met my mom, my stepdad, he still has his friendship, and he on the phone talking to his friend like, "Yo, I mean, he probably telling them like, I'm in Watts, man, with these fucking kids, and I gotta do something, you know."
Right.
And
Right.
his friend was like, "Shit, come to Hawaii." And sure enough, man, I think he went on vacation by himself first. He went like in November, and by January of 2005, I moved there with him, and then like 4 months later, my mom and my brother, and then about a year later, my sister, and now we out there.
Oh, that's what's up, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I know you felt like, and how was your feeling? How old was you when you first got to Hawaii?
uh, I was bored, to be honest. You know how like we?
No, I'm saying, how old were you when you
Oh,
first
how
got
old?
there?
I
Yeah.
was 17.
You was 17?
Yeah, I was
Ooh. And you
17.
was bored? I know you thought it was
I was
beautiful when it's
Nah,
breathtaking.
cause when you're that age, you don't see those things, you know, as valuable. You
Yeah.
just so you're not really concerned. Like I was just bored, missing my friends and being in my surroundings. So little by little, I got to learn like the quality of life. You know that
Yeah.
shit's important. You know the what you wake up to, what you do during your time, and I got to go to go to work and meet people that was not hood. You know, your surroundings dictate your future. And I think by the time I was 22, I became an executive chef from being some hood ass kid,
Wow.
not doing shit. I started dishwashing in restaurants and watching chefs, and because it's a big culinary scene in Hawaii. You know, people go to dine.
Yeah.
And when I was illegal, so they hire dishwashers anywhere. And they don't
Right.
give a fuck what you is. You can wash
Right.
dishes. Yeah, the cat under the table. And then I
That's what's
seen
up.
like the chefs all dressed nice and not not wet, not fucking doing hard work, just checking out the food. And I figured I gotta do that, you know? So start learning.
I'm gonna let Rob ask a question next, then
Yep,
Donnie. But
word.
I want to ask you one more question about that. Like, how did you go about becoming legal? Because of course now you working with Tommy Davidson and you touring all over the world and shit. You got to have a passport and shit. So I'm sure
Yeah.
that you had to work that. How did that work out? If you don't mind, I mean.
Nah, I don't. Shit, I got married.
There
I
you
got
go.
married. Yeah, yeah. I married the right one.
That's what's up. That's
Married the
what's
right.
up.
And
That's
married,
what's up.
and only it was the second time that I got it right because
I got married the first time, but I didn't know, and she didn't know, my ex-wife now. We didn't know that we were both illegal.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So I thought we was, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna be a citizen. Come to find out, she illegal too.
Wow.
Wow.
Damn. That's
I
amazing. You
said,
need to write a book, Jose. You need to write a book.
hell no. So then we got divorced, and I got two beautiful girls from that marriage, and met this
And
other
now, do
woman.
they become legal because you are illegal now? You their father, right?
Yeah, but I guess when your kids are born here, they're legal.
Yes. So they was
Yeah,
born with
yeah. My kids were
citizenship.
born in Hawaii, so yeah. I
Oh,
even had
that's
to explain to
beautiful.
them. I had to explain to them that they're not Hawaiian, that they're Mexican, and because the Mexican culture is not that, you know, uh, big out there, so they go into school with other kids that they're Hawaiian and they think they're
But they
Hawaiian.
look similar though. They do look like you could.
Yeah, yeah. We
You
brown,
look Hawaiian
just
to
another
me.
brown.
So
Yeah, just another shade of brown.
right, exactly. So they probably think you a light skinned Hawaiian. I don't know.
It's
Some
like
Hawaiians are darker.
They be thinking I'm Filipino. It's a lot of Filipinos out there.
Oh, really? So you could, you know, when you swirly, you can kind of be whatever you need to be. That's
Yeah,
good.
you get in where you fit in.
Right. All right, Rob, go ahead, and then Donnie, you can ask a question. And
kind of want to backtrack a little bit, but I want to go back when you first came over here. You know, when you was 3 years old. Did you speak English? How did you learn to speak English? You just picked it up as you.
This is how I remember I was saying that I don't recall like even coming here. So to me, English was my first language.
Okay.
right,
I was in preschool, you know, speaking with all the homies. I didn't really. I think even
right.
it was like I had to learn Spanish at home. It was more for me, you
Okay.
know. And in school, uh, they saw, they used to see me as a Mexican kid, and they would just put me in they call them ESL classes. You know what that is?
Yeah, English is a
Yeah,
second language.
yeah. And I didn't even know what that's what it stood for.
I used to be a teacher though, so
I just
I
call it
get it a little
ESL.
bit.
We used to call it ESL all the illegal kids, like they're all the ESLs. Because they're learning English, right? So they
That's
put me in
funny.
there, but they saw that, like, yo, I'm reading this shit, I'm speaking it without any accents or anything. Like, I know what the fuck I'm saying. So they moved me out of there. And yeah, I never had to learn English, I don't think. I don't remember. I just
Right.
remember
That was your
speaking.
first language.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Interesting. So,
You know, go ahead.
no. I want to say like when you first moved here and you was living in Watts, how did you avoid like a lot of the just falling into that loop of
Gangs and shit.
gang banging, all the bad stuff, and then the way you maneuvered yourself to get up out of there. What was your influence to help you drive you into that to the right direction?
Man, really, I believe, man, that like, as far as my dad was not being present, as when I told you that my stepdad was the first man that I saw, behave in a a good way. I guess it would call it a good way. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of, I think God put a lot of different men in my life, and some of them some of them were substitute teachers, some of them were teachers. Um, I always remember being in like counseling and shit as a kid. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and teachers that would, show us love because they knew we lived in the Nickerson Gardens, like a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of, we were always into shit. Police was always coming to school to get me because my dad got into some shit or, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So there was always somebody in my ear talking to me to avoid the gangs or
Yeah.
hanging out with certain cats. And that's what really, I think, what saved my life, man. That a lot of people showed some kind of care, even if it was for a brief moment. Like I played basketball a lot. I used to be around a lot of coaches, a lot of black OGs that would, teach you to play the game and shit. Instead of,
Mm-hmm.
I was a latchkey kid. I used to. There was
Yeah. Yeah.
uh
there was a program called Latchkey
Yeah.
at our school, and it would be all the kids that their parents couldn't take care of them at those times. Um, but then also, I saw a lot of my neighbors and my cousins and my sister's boyfriends, and just you hear the stories in there that what they go through as part of the gangs. They get so many funerals, man. So many going to visit motherfuckers. Like my mom used to take us to get babysat, and we used to have to go visit the ladies' kids in prison. So we used to just be along for the ride, not really
Right.
seeing nobody, but you learning from those mistakes. Like, hey, I don't never want to come here. And then
Right.
you hear how they killed homie, and you're like, damn, that shit don't sound like I want to go through that.
Right. Right.
A little bit of mix of all that, man, kept me, I guess, at bay,
Yeah. That's what's
and
up.
and a lot of luck, because our gang members and all these shooters and shit, they're your friends. You grow up with these motherfuckers,
Right.
and and all it takes is one bad day, man. And I think a lot of luck had to do with that guy, and
Right.
So
just
so
Right.
the time when you
maneuvering.
washing all them dishes and be fired to become a chef, when did you
Right.
decide that you was that funny guy? Okay, I'll give you an example
You're
of
right.
what I'm talking about. Darnell D, the one right there, me and him was in probably the sixth grade to the eighth grade. We went to high school together too, but we used to always sit around in class and cap
Cap.
jokes all day. We used to call
Talk
it cap.
about like
We used to talk jokes about everybody, and probably the
Dude,
funniest joke he ever had on me. He called me. My real name is Robert. He calls me Roberto, right?
Roberto.
oh man.
Roberto,
Roberto.
So,
Roberto.
so I'm just asking you that because like there's always some funny people around you. Now, do you
Yeah,
have any friends that you was just like, this guy was really funny? Any of
yeah,
your friends, family members, because I'm pretty sure you had to get a start somewhere, decide to go from a chef to a
Right.
full-time comedian. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
want you
yeah,
to talk about some of maybe the funny people that you met. Necessarily, they don't necessarily have to be famous, but where your inspiration come from for
yeah.
deciding to be a full-time funny guy.
Yep.
Man, you know how I believe in fate, man, and I believe our stories are. This might be not what everybody thinks, but I believe our story is written. We're here for a reason, and living in Watts, man, is so dangerous. The number one rule was don't go outside, and all we did was watch TV. You know, all we did was, and every time we turned on TV, it was like Comic View, Def Comedy Jam, and just listening to all this TV, all the sitcoms, man, the Parenthood, the Hughleys, the Steve Harvey Show, the Parkers. Fucking, I used to watch Seinfeld,
Yep.
Frasier,
That shit was funny as
Full
hell.
House, yeah, all that shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I remember being in school, like just like in the hood, there's
Sure, I got to give a shout out to Kim
Yeah.
Yetta and Karma because they went to Punchline Comedy in Southfield to see Jose with me. It was so
hey,
live.
shout out to them.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
Well,
So I was just talking until you got it together. Okay, so go ahead. What was I
yeah,
forgot the question.
can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so earlier when we were having the technical difficulties, did ask him a question. I don't know if you heard it, Helen.
Yeah, about the ashes.
Okay, so you did get that. Okay.
I
Well,
don't know. Ask it again, just in case. About
okay, I asked about that time and having to go through that with his family, and if you don't mind repeating just
a little bit of it.
what you spoke on earlier on that.
Now you can hear me good.
Yep.
Yes.
Above the
Yeah.
ashes. Yep.
The question. Can you tell me the question again?
Oh, so
The
what I
same
asked you
recapping that
earlier,
same question from earlier.
recapping that question from earlier, we were having the audio issues, but what I asked you about the time, obviously dealing with your family and the ashes and everything that you went through that
Right.
experience,
Right.
or some of what you went through.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, man. Online and everybody's got opinions of if it was a conspiracy theory or something like that. That it was done on purpose, and all I can tell you, man, from living it, it was a natural disaster mixed with, some perfect situations to create that big ass fire. And there was no phone signals, no internet, so there was no way of communicating with the people around the city to tell them that they're evacuating or there's a fire down the street. People were just in their house, all day,
Right. Right.
and
Right. Right.
winds outside was, man, 80-mile-an-hour winds, so nobody was going out. People were just in their house, and you really can't communicate with your neighbor. Everybody just locked in, windows closed,
Yeah.
and how you knew is if you did come outside. That's how some people, unfortunately passed away, because by the time they found out, it was too late. And that day, we woke up. I told my daughter she wasn't going to school. It was her first day of high school, and I told her she didn't go to school because the electricity was off. So I told her to go back to bed. My kids, they're fighters. We all train in boxing and Muay Thai and martial arts and shit. And so what we did that day is get up and train in the morning, and we drove near to my mom's house to say what's up to her. I had breakfast with my mom, and then I told her I was coming by later on. And we still don't know nothing about a fire. This was like around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And then we said we're going to get together and have some food around 3. And we were in the house still chilling. And this at 3 o'clock, it was already a big fire in that city, and we still didn't know about it.
Wow.
Right. And we went back to my mom's house at 3 o'clock, and we're eating at the dinner table. And my daughter, one of my daughters, she's 2 years younger. They were 14 and 11 at that time. And my 11-year-old says, "Dad, is that a fire across the street?" And I'm like, "Nah, it's probably somebody barbecuing, And you can kind of smell some shit in the air."
Right.
And she says, "No, look, the tree's on fire." And so I take a look, and sure enough, there's a big ass palm tree on fire. And I tell my mom, like, "Yo, we gotta go. It's not a good situation." The smoke. And she was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna leave. Like, it's just another fire," because it has happened years prior where there's been fires and they turn them off. It never to this magnitude. So my mom sees I have a dog, and I told her I'm gonna go to the house, grab my dog, and we're gonna leave, thinking they is gonna turn off the fires and the smoke. We just don't want to be around the smoke for that moment.
Right.
So usually people drive to the other side or down the road. And so I went to go get my dog, and I told my mom, grab your shit and just go meet us a couple miles down. So she said, all right. We went to get my dog. As I was grabbing my dog, I kind of look to the side and I see my neighbor's house kind of on fire.
Damn.
And, yeah, I'm like, oh shit, we gotta go. Like, it just kind of like, it went from like, oh, we were trying to get away from the smoke to, oh, it's fire.
Right.
Yeah. So we took off. Me and my kids, I put on my youngest son goggles and mask and shit because there was a lot of smoke, and jumped in the car with my dog, and we tried to get out of the neighborhood, but it was gridlock. Like, there was cars already on fire and trees down and shit. And it was like a disaster, right? Like a movie.
Right.
And we ended up having to get out of traffic and go back to our house area, park, and then take off on foot. And we actually had to run towards the fire for a little bit because there was like some gates and shit that I was thinking about jumping these gates and people's fences, but there was a lot of power lines down. So I was like, nah, we got to take her, at least go into the fire for a little bit. We had to run through like hard black smoke for like 2 minutes and then make it out, wash our faces, and then just keep walking away from the fire. And then there's a video I put up on my Instagram. You guys can go check it out. And I got pictures I'll send you. Just look back and see. Unbelievable shit. It was crazy because you don't imagine living through something like that.
Right.
And
Yeah, people are coming through
it
our
was so
neighborhood
bad.
now.
So
Yeah, I know.
a lot of the people initially evacuated to a certain area.
Come on, cuz.
That in like the next 2 hours, where we were all at, we had to run from there because the fire had spread towards those buildings. Yeah, so
If it does,
Wow.
we ended up,
Which bag?
man, walking for like
Yes.
7 hours, me and my kids, and we had no idea. We didn't think, like it was that bad, I guess, at the nighttime. And then the next morning, we ended up staying in a hotel lobby with a bunch of people. And the next morning, like news spreads, like cell phones are starting to work, and that the whole city is gone. And
Wow, that's fucked
there's
up.
a lot of people that were separated, and then you start realizing like, yo, motherfuckers died, people died in there. And
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
word starts spreading about who died, and it starts to set in, like reality of what you went through.
Right, right.
And what you
Exactly.
went through. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
because
I feel proud to
initially
wear
you
your
just
shirt now. I feel proud
yeah,
to
yeah,
wear your shirt.
initially you just adrenaline filled, pump.
Yeah.
Right.
And man, we lost a lot of friends and close family friends, people
Yeah.
that are in the community because it's such a small island. You work with these people, you see them at the grocery store. They're your
Yeah. How
neighbors,
big is
and
Maui? Because I can't even think about like how big is it? Like, yeah, I know you said Watts was like 2 point.
yeah. But Maui is pretty big in like a landmass,
Yeah.
um, but it's a small town in the fact that not a lot of people live there, right?
Yeah.
So people know each other. If you don't know a certain person, you know somebody that knows them, you know.
Right.
And so I guess I gave you a little story about what we went through, but we're affected in the way, man, that my kids and I and a lot of people in Maui got a second chance. That's
That's what's
again,
up.
it comes down
Yeah,
to
that's
luck.
dope.
It comes
Right.
down
Yeah.
to luck too, because we could have ended up uh dead as well. There was a lot of stories, and I'll share one with you, man. It's pretty sad. There was a set of grandparents, grandpa and grandma and grandpa, died with their two grandkids in the car because, you
Wow.
know, they didn't. I don't know. You only God knows what happened, but I
They
think
couldn't
of
get
that
out.
story. They died in their car. Yeah, I think of that because
Right.
I was in the car with my kids, and I'm like, yo, we're gonna leave the car, and
Right.
God only knows what was their situation, but
Right.
Wow.
stories like that hit, and I'm just very glad, man. That's
Yeah.
why above the ashes is important because uh, it represents that we kind of survived and keep
Oh yeah.
pushing, keep pushing.
So is it a
Oh yeah.
charity or what is above the ashes?
Yeah.
Is
What
that
is
just
it?
a thing that you
It was
say?
the name of a special that I shot uh,
Oh,
in
Okay.
November. So the fire happened in August,
Uh huh.
and in
Oh,
November,
oh, you shot a special. Okay.
yeah, I shot a special in Hawaii, and I named
Okay.
it Above the Ashes,
that's what's
and
up.
it was also a fundraiser uh, for my family, and I united with I forget the name. I'm sorry, I forget the name off the top
Yeah, I
of
got
the but I'll send it to you.
you.
And
Mhm.
with some of the proceeds were donated to a lot of other families as well,
Okay,
to
send
help
me the
out during
pictures
that
to
time.
all of that so I can put them
Yeah,
in this video. I'll put
and
them in.
to anybody that hears this and they're wondering what happens to that special, you know, I'm very picky with my stuff. Like as a chef, I
Mhm.
learned to throw shit away and restart. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you fuck up the rice.
Right.
Right. Right. Right.
Don't try to fix the rice. Sometimes you fuck it up.
Right.
Uh, and I shot the special, but I got the footage. I just didn't like the way it came out. Uh, but it's something
Yeah,
that
that's all right.
I
Hey, we're
hold
gonna
dear.
look back on this video, be like, remember when we was just starting our podcast with Jose
Yeah,
Raymond and
Yeah.
not look
Jose
at us. You know
Raymond,
what I'm
baby.
saying?
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Thanks for the love, man. What?
We growing together. We excited to have you. And I wanted
Thank
to
you, thank
ask
you.
you, I know they probably got some more questions for you, but we're gonna wrap it up we got about 10 minutes here.
Yeah,
But I
tell me.
wanted to ask you, what advice would you give to someone looking to get into stand-up? Like if somebody asked you, said, I want to be a stand-up comedian, what advice would you give them?
Do that shit, man. Life's too short. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop asking motherfuckers for advice and do it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
That's
Right,
what
really
right.
what it
life,
is.
Life's
about
short, man. By the time you think, oh yeah, I'm gonna prepare myself. Like, nah, if you want to do something, do it. Go after it.
Yeah.
And there
Right.
is, obviously, the best thing to go do is hit an open mic.
Yeah.
That's easy. Go write a couple of jokes. Try to prepare yourself. Don't just go up there, off the top, off the cuff. Yeah, you can, but it
If
helps
you
to
smoke
have.
weed, it probably wouldn't be the best
Yeah.
advice because if you forgetting shit, you know what I mean?
Hey, there's somebody. I had a comedian one time tell me, when I was new, that I should go on stage sober, completely with no, nothing to
Oh,
help me
right.
mask, any of the nervousness. Just go up there because the more you do it sober and your true self up there, then you can kind of create your voice and find your voice of who you
Right.
are instead of going. You can go up there drunk and now you got that that liquor courage, and it ain't the
Right.
same. It ain't the same when you up there, clear minded.
Yeah.
Um,
Clear mind. You could be up there like, yeah.
it's something that I take very serious, seriously. It's my it's my passion, it's my love. I don't think I'd be alive if I didn't have comedy, man. It's helped me through a lot
Yeah.
of dark times.
Yeah.
Oh
Um,
You
yeah.
good at it too.
yeah, so if you're
What you
trying to
like
get
most about it? What do you like most about stand up?
making people laugh, man, hearing after the shows like, yo, when you said this about this, that shit was fucking hilarious. And then
Yeah.
people share their stories with me, like, yo, my dad was a crackhead. My dad is a crackhead. Uh, my kid's a crackhead, and
Right.
or my neighbors was illegal, or I used to be illegal. Um, I got kids, and I talk to my kids like that. I like to hear the feedback of the people laughing at shit.
Yeah. That's what's
You
up.
And
mentioned you played basketball, man.
oh
Where'd you?
man,
I
who
mean,
won it? Who
how
won it?
long? How long?
Who won it? Why you asking? You want it?
I mean, I
Yeah. Yeah.
played
Hey,
too.
Donnie like six
Like
eight and shit. He tall as fuck.
Hey,
I'm just yeah, just
hey,
wondering what was that
I bust
about?
a
What
bunch
was
of
that?
6'8", 6'10" ass. I buzz
Hey,
that ass. I'm like Muggsy Bogues,
I'm
man. Come
down.
on.
I gotta
Look
get.
at that.
I gotta come there now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We gotta make this happen in reality. The 1-on-1 with
man. Hell
Jose
yeah.
Raymond.
I got a friend, man.
I'm about to
He's
start
six.
training right now.
I got years, man.
So
I
what's your
love playing
schedule looking
basketball.
like? I know you on tour with Tommy, and you got one more day there. Then you gonna be back in Hawaii for like 4 days, right?
Yeah, I go back to Hawaii for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I come back. I got a show in Temecula. It's a private show, I guess. There's a link that I can send to people.
What's
Uh,
Temecula?
Temecula is a place in California, like
Oh,
near,
I don't
like
know. I
off the
didn't.
15th, like towards San Diego.
Okay.
But it's like near cities like Paris and Hemet, California. I don't know if you ever heard of that
So,
area.
yeah, I ain't really. I'm
Yeah, like
Detroit
the
on
desert. I
that.
think it's called the desert or something.
Okay.
And then do that show, and then I meet up again with Tommy in Dallas. We're at the
Okay.
Arlington Improv, and then I'm
Because
back in
Tommy
Hawaii
got a
for a
lot of
couple.
people open for him. Like most comedians, they have like one or two. He got like five motherfuckers. But you like his head. You like really
Nah,
open
hey,
because you was right before him.
yeah.
You know.
One thing about not one thing, man. Many things, man. Tommy is that dude, man. He
Yeah,
really a great dude. Like I've met some celebrities, and it's true when they say like don't meet your idols. You ever heard
mhm.
that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes it's true, but with Tommy, man, it's spot on. He that dude that you see.
He is. He
That's why he
is.
Yeah.
has so many comedians because his heart is so big. He told me once. I thanked him and I said I had a little conversation with him. I'm like, Tommy, I want to thank you, man, for the opportunity uh, to share the stage with you. And he said,
Yeah.
you know why I help people? Because people help me. I give
Yeah.
opportunities because I was given opportunities.
That's
And so
right.
when you saw in Detroit
Yeah.
all those comedians in front of us, it's Tommy giving back, So
Yeah.
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 How many
Yeah.
yeah.
people
That's dope.
usually be on tour with y'all? Like how many of y'all
Usually it's just me and him.
is you and him?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Okay.
yeah. Usually, and then different cities I see sometimes there'll be people that he knows or ask
Local.
for guest spots.
Right.
And he's one to always welcome people with open arms.
Howie Bell. I told you that's our brother from Detroit.
Yeah,
He went
yeah,
to high
yeah.
school with us. He
I
gonna
got
be
to
on
meet
here
him.
next week, so we gonna
All
have him
right.
on next week.
Yeah, tell him I said what up though when you see him,
Yeah,
man.
what up, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you say your kids say what up, though. Oh, so you
Yeah.
say your kids be saying it.
Yeah. Cause one of my good friends, man, he from Southfield, and
He is?
he's a comedian too. His name is Cam Rowe, and
Oh, okay.
Cameron Rowe, and his father played professional basketball. His name was
Wow.
I think it was Curtis Rowe, and
Uh-huh.
me and him always on the phone talking. Man, we started kind of comedy at the same time in LA, and
Mm-hmm.
he ended up having to move back to Detroit. And ever since I've known that cat, man, since 2014. And you know when you any when you have people around you, that lingo rubs off of you, you know. So every
Yeah.
time he would see me, he'd be like, "What up, though?"
What
And I'd be
up,
like, "What up,
though?
though?"
Right.
So
What up,
every
dog?
time I
They
seen
said
him,
what up, though, in
yeah,
Hawaii, ain't they? They
hey,
said what up, though, in Hawaii. That's what's up.
hey, for a while when I used to see him, I used to be like, "Oh, there goes what up, though,"
Right.
and I'd be
What's
like, "Hey,
up?
man, tell me your name again," and he'd be like, "Cam." I'd be like, "All right," and then we ended up being, the bestest friends. So my kids hear me speaking to him, and then when I call my kids, sometimes I'll be like, "What up, though?" And then it's
Right.
just
That's what's up.
yeah.
And you know
Yeah.
what? In my mind, you my George Lopez, because you like our generation, George Lopez. I know you get that a lot, probably, about George Lopez. You
Yeah,
ever
George
met him?
Lopez.
Have
Nah, I
you ever
haven't
met
met him.
Oh,
George?
you
I
got a
haven't.
mess. So this is a shout
I
out to
haven't
George
met him.
Lopez. You need to meet Jose Raymond.
Raymond,
Right.
And you know
yeah.
my son got the same middle name as you, Raymond, and my daddy. So you
All
was
right.
special to me. I told you that when I met you. My
Yeah,
daddy's
thank you,
name was
thank you.
middle name Raymond, and my son middle name Raymond. So
Raymond, yeah. Somebody told me that Raymond means king of the world, in Spanish.
really,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Raimundo is in Spanish, and so
Okay. Right.
I thought that was cool. And my name was Ramon before,
mm,
and as growing up, I didn't want to be like my father at all.
mm-hmm.
And I'm a junior. I have his exact name, Jose Ramon.
Uh-huh.
And also,
You
like when I
say
started,
Ramon Raymond.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
that's right.
So I switched it from Ramon to Raymond also because when I came to LA to do comedy, I didn't want to sound so Latino that they would just put me in, Hispanic rooms to do comedy. I
Right,
wanted to
right,
sound,
exactly.
kind of like George Lopez, like
Yeah,
it's not Jorge Lopez, it's George.
right. It's
You know what I'm
Right.
George,
saying? So
right?
I did that shit to the Raymond part.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah,
Yeah.
man.
You did an all black room at Punchline. It
Yeah.
wasn't number one white person in there. That was that white guy. Remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody was messing with him. I said,
And
"Oh Lord." So yeah, but
yeah,
you did
man.
that room. I mean, you did if you could do a room full of, I think a room full of black people is the hardest room in my mind.
Hey,
Right.
everybody think that. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It is.
That's a
It's true.
known fact in the comedy world. You in the black room, you better bring that funny shit. Don't
You did that
dang
shit.
it.
We was dying, and then you got us
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so ready for Tommy, and it's a different kind of comedy because like with yours, he more expressive. Like he do a lot of movements and facial expressions,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
with you don't laugh at your own jokes, and I love that because some comics do, and it's okay if that's what you do.
Right, right.
But like you be straight face like I'm from the hood, motherfucker. I ain't
Right.
gonna get my illegally, and you want laughing and shit. We was like cracking up. I
Yeah.
love, I
Hey, and
love.
I'll share with you.
Yep.
I think that my demeanor when I found my voice, like in comedy, like
Mm-hmm.
what I want to say and how I want to express it, has to do. I feel like I was raised by Bernie Mac, and
Yep.
Mhm.
like I remember when I first started comedy, the story that I kind of like try to mimic and derive the funniness out of my life was the story of him and his sister's kids. When he
The
had to,
baby kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we had to take care of the kids. So
Yeah.
you seen him when he delivered that shit. He's serious, right? When he
You
talked,
serious? One
yeah,
laughing at all.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like and that's somebody, man. I wish I had met, man. I never got a chance to meet the great,
Yeah.
the
Bernie
great
Mac.
Bernie Mac.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you asked me if I met George, but I've been blessed, man, to meet so other many greats, man. Like I shared the stage with obviously Tommy Davidson, one of the greats. Dio
Yeah.
Hughley,
Yeah.
Cedric the Entertainer, Leslie Jones,
Oh, I
Lou
love
Nail,
her. I read her
Lou
book
Nail.
too.
Shout
Her
out to
book
Lou
was the
Nail,
shit.
yeah. Lou Nail,
Lunel, wow.
Alonzo
Lunel is
Bowden, Marlon Wayans,
Marlon
Marlon
and
Wayans.
I don't know
Wayans.
if
I'm
you
gonna put
noticed
it
a
in.
little I don't know if you noticed a little pattern
Wayans,
of the
period.
people that I work with. You
Right.
know,
In living
I don't know
color.
if you noticed a
In
little
living
pattern.
color. I see you,
You
them
know,
Wayans and things. I
uh,
get you. Hey, send me some
Right.
of them pictures, Jose, so I can put, as you said, the names. If you got
yeah,
any pictures with them, send them to me because I looked on your social media. I did see Marlon Wayans, and you was
yeah.
with another comedian too in that picture. I don't know who that
Yeah.
was, but I
Oh,
I
wish I
that's
saw
my
could.
that
boy,
picture too.
man.
Yeah.
You guys gotta follow him too, man. Check out his comedy. That's my boy DC Irvin, man.
Oh,
He
DC
from
Irvin. Okay.
yeah. DC Irvin, man. He
Okay. Y'all doing
hilarious
y'all
dude.
thing out there. I
Yeah,
know.
shout out to DC. He's the one
Mhm.
that put me on that show. He came out to Hawaii with Marlon, and you know, me and him been cool for a long time. And
That's
he
what's
said,
up.
"Come through, man, come through." And I introduced you, and sure enough, man, he
How
introduced
is
me to
Leslie
Marlon.
Jones? Because I love Leslie Jones. Like she was bad.
Man, she as well amazing human being, man.
Okay.
I reached out to her opener, letting them know that I'm a comedian on the island, and I expressed that I was affected by the fires and how I'm just hustling for the family. You feel me?
Yeah,
And
for sure.
she agreed, and she let me open up for her at two theaters on Maui and in Oahu.
Okay.
And I asked for a guest spot, right? But when I got off the stage, Leslie came right up, hugged me, said, "Man, you're hilarious,"
Aw,
and then put some money in my pocket.
I know
And
that's right.
yeah, man, she took care of me. And a little quick story. I know we're running out of time, but you'll
No,
enjoy
you
this.
good. Take your
Uh,
time.
me, I smoke weed, right? You see me smoking
Yeah,
that shit,
do
and
your thing. I love it.
so I offered people, right? So I was like, I wonder if she smoked. So I offered like, hey, I got some bud if you trying to if you smoke. And she was like, hell yeah.
I
And
love it.
I I fucked around and found out, man, I never had smoked weed with a millionaire.
Damn.
Right.
This is Leslie Jones. So I pulled out my little,
Right.
regular weed. she she hit that shit and she gave it two hits and she was like, hold on. And went into her green room, came back out, and pulled out some millionaire weed on me.
Oh, you had the
Man,
millionaire with you.
some fire
Yeah.
weed. Like I was high. I thought I smoked weed. Leslie Jones smoked weed a lot and the best weed. She even
That's
gave me
right.
some.
I know that's right.
She gave
I
me some
love
joints
her.
to go too, man. So
That's
she
what's
real cool
up.
people, man.
Yeah, I love her. I read her book, and I don't read a lot of books, but it's called "I Am Leslie Fucking Jones," and this is
Ah,
shit. I listened to the audio book, but it was really good. So shout out to Leslie Jones. I
yeah.
love her.
Shout out to
Hopefully
Leslie,
one day
man.
when I get famous with you, we gonna get famous together. Our
Hey,
podcast, What Up Though, gonna be the shit, and we gonna be like Jose Raymond was really our first famous person that we ever,
That
hey,
we had on here. Yeah.
we already famous.
Thank
They
you,
just
man.
don't know it.
Yeah,
Man,
that's what I'm saying,
it's
Jose.
all
Say
good.
it again. We already famous. They just don't know.
They just
Right.
don't know that shit. It's on them.
Right. So any last shout outs you want to give to anybody and anybody else that want to give shout outs, you and Donnie can give shout
Yeah,
outs
man.
to.
Yeah, man. For me, man, shout out to y'all first and foremost, and thank you for having me on y'all shit, man. It's
What
been
up, though?
yeah. What up,
Oh, yeah.
though? It's been
Yeah. Yeah.
great to
Thanks for
share this
coming.
time with you guys.
You see, we represent with our
Oh,
t-shirts,
yeah.
right?
Hey,
You
hey,
know
that's
it.
dope. Hey, can I
I
get y'all
made
on
it
the
through
screen and I'm gonna
today.
take a screenshot? Can I get all
Yeah.
y'all with the
Oh, yeah.
shirt? Yeah, let me see.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good right there. 1, 2. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah,
Send that to me
yeah.
too, so
Know
we
it. You
can.
know it. Yeah.
Yeah, I will, man. Shout out to
Yeah.
Tommy Davidson, obviously, man, the captain. He been, nothing but amazing as a mentor. Um, Shout out to anybody that has helped me along the way, man. It's been a long journey. My
Yeah,
people in Hawaii, shit, everybody in Hawaii, stay up, stay dangerous.
yeah,
Anybody, all the hoods, man, keep trying. Do your best every day. Get up and hustle,
yeah.
and try to find a purpose, man. I think that's what's important. Try to find a
That's
Yeah.
purpose while you're getting up, and that's
All
it,
right.
man. Thank you guys.
thank
Yeah,
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
man.
you.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes,
Showing us
sir.
the love. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
We got
I'm gonna put all the
Let's go
videos so when you
difficult.
Send me some pictures. Send me the screenshot of us and everything. I'm gonna
What
put
Roberto
it
say?
in the
What did Roberto say?
copy.
I didn't hear what Roberto said. What he say?
I said I appreciate you dealing with our technical difficulties.
Yeah, thank you on that.
You know, we a little hood. We
I
ain't
was
got
all.
all. That's why we
Hey,
trying
I
to
was
get you
coming.
to subscribe to our Patreon community. I have it listed on this video so they can help us. If y'all got some skills and y'all know how to do this, then help us. Because as you can see,
Right.
Hell yeah.
trying to start out, Jose, we trying. We
Yeah,
got
hell
to.
yeah.
We wasn't giving up. See, I was doing it. I was doing it like my Mexican brother. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have gave up. I was like, I am not giving up.
Nah, you know there ain't no quit on this side, you know?
For sure, for sure. Thanks for hanging in there with us. I appreciate you.
Hey, thank you
Appreciate
guys,
you.
man. Donnell,
Okay.
you know, Roberto,
Right now, appreciate you, man.
Steve, thank you, man.
All right
again.
now.
Yeah,
Don't
hell
make
yeah.
us go to Hawaii.
Hey, when you
I'm gonna
coming
make my.
back to when you coming back to Detroit? Do you know?
I don't know off the top, but I've been talking to my boy Cam, and he connected out there. We probably come out there and do some shows, co-headline something, and
Probably not in the winter. I don't think you want to fuck with Detroit
Well,
in
I'm
the winter.
definitely
hey
there.
man,
I gotta be there.
We
You
gonna
gotta
be there.
know.
I'm game anytime. I'm all time.
We gonna be there.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
gonna
be
go.
there.
If next time you at Punchline or anywhere in Detroit, let us know. And
In
we
the
coming. And we gonna come wearing our shirts too, for sure.
Exactly.
For sure. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All
Thank you
right.
very
Well, you
much,
got
man.
that beautiful California weather. What time is it there now?
Let me see.
4:22.
422. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's beautiful there. It ain't that sunny there where you at though.
Nah, it's cold though.
It's
It
cold.
is.
Yeah.
What's cold?
What's cold? What's cold though?
Hey,
Jose?
60 degrees.
Last
'Cause it's
night I
cold
was
here.
with a.
Come here. 20 something degrees.
It feel if this shit felt like Detroit when I was there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When you came, it was like 70.
Yeah, that's too cold. That's too cold.
That's too
Damn,
cold.
72. You
Yeah.
need to be like 90, huh?
Yeah.
We still had 70 right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, well, we gotta get y'all to Hawaii and we'll shoot a episode in Hawaii, man.
Oh, I would
Oh,
love that.
I
Yeah.
love
with
that.
I'm
Look,
with
we
it.
about to
Get to
raise
Hawaii
some money
too.
so
What I
we can
told
do.
y'all.
This
That's
is sad. I want to go to Hawaii. Man,
So hey, what they say, speak it to existence, right? You know what I'm saying?
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's gonna
We
happen.
gonna come.
Hell yeah.
And then you gonna we gonna be on Maui. I'll make sure next time I take vacation to Hawaii, it's gonna be at Maui.
Hell
Right.
yeah.
No, for real,
With
man.
it.
We've been talking about that. We gotta make this happen.
Hey, I'm
That's
with it.
right.
You guys got my information. If I can help in any way, let me know.
Oh, for sure. We love you, bro. We're gonna be
Yeah.
watching you and send us shit. And we gonna I'm TikTok famous. Now I ain't all of it, but I am TikTok famous. You see, I got a lot of followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
be
see.
sharing all our shit. And I'm gonna do these little clips.
I know a lot of my hood homeboys gonna see this shit. They're gonna be like, look at this motherfucker got money. This is from Ross. This is fresh. I even ripped it a little bit so I could get the discount. I said, shit, you about to charge me $11.99 for this jacket, motherfucker. You got this shit for fucking $3.99.